Nation and Irish haters, the recruiting is over, commitments have been made, transfers decided, practices are in motion, games are slated, bowl games have unknown participants with the national champion uncrowned. But to play like a champion, you have to talk like a champion.
Rally, sons of Notre Dame, sing her glory and sound her fame, raise her gold and blue and cheer with voices true, rah-rah, for Notre Dame. We will fight in every game, strong of heart and true to her name. We will never forget her and we'll cheer her and we're loyal to Notre Dame. Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame, wake up the echoes cheering her name. Send the volley cheer on high, shake down the thunder from the sky. We're what the while her loyal sons are marching onward to victory. Onward to victory. For Notre Dame.
Welcome back, all Irish Nation. Glad you could be with us for another edition of Talk Like a Champion. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo, coming back at you on another victorious Saturday afternoon. And first and foremost, I would like to thank and extend our appreciation from Irish Nation to Eddie George and the Tennessee State Tigers. Those guys showed just so much class. I really love Eddie George, dating back to his days when he was in the NFL and a Tennessee Titan. He's really a class act, and he's really... It seems as though he is really putting his stamp on that team as far as being physical and understanding that, you know, you have to fight throughout the whole game. And they did. They really did. They were just overmatched, and it was an honor. I don't know how you guys, I hope all of you at Irish Nation are as honored as I feel as this being the first HBCU college that we played in our history, as well as the first FCS college that Notre Dame has ever played. And thank you so much, Eddie George. We appreciate the opportunity, and thank you so much for coming there, giving us a test, and showing so much class. Now, with this great victory that we were able to take over a pretty good team, and most people are going to say, oh, whatever. No, really, this team gave us all we could handle the first couple of downs in series. But once again, Sam Hartman and our offensive line was they just had it figured out. And there are two lines the first thing I want to say is people don't realize this, but this is the first time since 1975 that the Irish have held a team without a touchdown in its first two games. Since 75. That's almost 50 years. Al Golden, Marcus Freeman, you guys are doing a great job. Now, let's look forward at some of the things that really looked the part. Looking at the tail of the tape, what is team stats, we look at first downs. Notre Dame had 26. We were 9 for 11 on third down, whereas Tennessee State was 4 for 14, and they had 12 first downs, which is good for them. But we had a lot of guys out there, second and third teamers, which in the second half, which we'll get to those shortly, because we had a couple of guys that played exceptionally well on that second team. We had 336 yards in the air. 11.2 yards per pass attempt, which is up 1.2 yards from last week, guys. So, and we had 221 yards on the ground, and we averaged 6.7 yards a carry, which is almost 2.5 full yards more than last week, guys. And We had 4 penalties in this game. That's something we got to clean up. 2 of them I wasn't sure of. Even the 15-yard leading with the helmet penalty, that was garbage. I didn't like that call. And we had a lost fumble on early on, so we definitely have to clean that up. And then something that we had a problem with last week, which it's not, it was about even in this game, was time of possession. Because, you know, Navy, they chew up a lot of clock. But this week, Notre Dame had about a minute's edge over Tennessee State. Okay. Well, moving on from the numbers, let's go look at our box score. And Sam Hartman had a half of work. He was able to throw 2 touchdowns and he ran for 1. He was able to lead the offense and just, in some cases, make it look effortless. Our guards have got to do a better job. There were a couple of times where Tennessee State was able to get penetration on Sam Hartman, and we cannot have that against the big-time opponents. Eric George, who is the son of Eddie George, had a pretty good game. He had 4 total tackles, and 4 of them were solos. And it's important to know and to note that we have to be able to get, more. We have to get more effective pass blocking within that inside, and ultimately, we have to be able to protect the inside, which is what Sam Hartman likes to do. He loves to stand in that pocket, and he likes to step up and make his throws. And a couple times they were nearly able to get to him, and we weren't really able to get it down the field like we wanted to. But he did a great job, like as did the other 2 quarterbacks, Steve Angeli and as well as Kenny Minchie, who both of those guys got some really good playing time today. And it was really awesome to see that. Really great to see that. And, of course, Angeli threw 2 touchdown passes. So that was a major bright spot. But I don't want to get too far down the second sheet. But we saw Audric Estime have a 100-yard rushing game and a touchdown. He had a 50-yard run. He had a couple of big runs today. And he also had a reception for 7 yards, which, this is going to be huge coming up later on. Jadarian Price he's just showing us that he's that guy. He is showing us that he is going to be that guy eventually. I'm loving this kid. He is, this sophomore is just going to be something else. I mean, he is going to be something when Estime goes bye-byes. We'd love for him to stay another year, but I would imagine the NFL is going to come calling him. But looking back here, Jeremiah Love had a really good evening as well, the true freshman. He had an awesome game. They're finding ways to get him more touches. He had he had 5 carries for 46 yards and a touchdown. And for him to continuously be doing what he's doing, he had a cat grab for 1 for 4 yards. He's continuously showing himself as a major weapon. The Notre Dame backfield, if they can continuously pull one guy in every season like they're doing right now, because you don't want it to be so overloaded that you get that transfer portal feel. You know what I mean, guys? I feel like that's what happened with the Logan Diggs situation, and he's not even the starter at LSU. But then look at Jabron Payne. He had 6 carries today for 27 yards. So you're talking about two more sophomores and another freshman in the backfield. There's no saying anything about Estime. It would be great if they decide, hey, he's gonna stay. But looking at how loaded the backfield is, and then you got to talk about Devin Ford. The senior. He won't be coming back, but he's the transfer, and even he had some carries today. And it's just you're looking at it, and it's like, ugh. How great this running back room is. And the big plays that we were talking about in the running game early in the season, that was not a concern. You had Estime had 2 big ones, and then Jeremiah Love had a 36-yarder. And then let's look at these backs out of the backfield. Gerard Parker is doing such a great job setting these plays where he's saying, okay, if we can't get the ball to our playmakers on the outside, okay, we'll just beat you with the guys. We'll beat you with the running back. To me, this is the difference between Tommy Rees and whether it's Marcus Freeman's opening up Gerard Parker to something else, or Gerard Parker just understanding that there are different ways to attack a defense. I don't know, but I like it. Well called game again for you, my friend. You're awesome. We weren't able to get the ball down the field like I hoped we would, but we were able to do it where Sam Hartman's strength is. And you can see Steve Angeli is becoming that a little bit. He's starting to stretch it, in the middle of that field where those weaknesses are. Whereas Tommy Rees is like, okay, let's just do short curls, easy. Everybody knows that. So you have to do something that the defenses don't know. And they're eating up the middle of that field. Not on short curls, but moving. Making those defenders have to keep moving. You got to be able to hit those timing routes. You got to. Angeli's showing confidence now. Now, going down the receiving core, we had Jaden Thomas had 4 receptions for 62. Mitchell Evans, the big-time tight end, who only had, if I recall, he only had 4 set receptions all last year. Really, Tommy Rees? I'm going to stop talking about Tommy Rees because there's a lot of people that may not like it. But honestly, I don't care. We can look at the offense and tell it's moving better because Tommy Rees is not the coordinator anymore. Or maybe it's because Drew Pine we've got a better quarterback this year. Who knows? But looking at the receiving, we've got Jabron Payne had 2 catches and a touchdown for 45 yards. Jadarian Price, 2 catches, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Now, a lot of people are going to look back and they're going to say, okay, these are touchdowns that the backs are catching and taking them to the house. The beautiful thing is, ladies and gentlemen, in Irish Nation, we have backs that can catch the ball out of backfield and they know what to do in the open field. That's that whole Christian McCaffrey effect. I'm taking an analogy from a Stanford guy. I get it. I know a lot of people are going to say they don't like that. But it's a Kyron Williams effect as well. We could say Kyron Williams. But now we're starting to see the quarterbacks develop more confidently into doing this. If we can get Kenny Minchie and we can get Steve Angeli to understand this, folks, I have no doubts that Sam Hartman's going to do what he needs to do. But if we can pass this gene or this type of play along, can you imagine what wonders this does for our quarterback play in the future? Irish Nation, the only problem Notre Dame has had the last, I would say, 7 years since Deshaun Kaiser has gone on to the NFL is quarterback play. We've got the weapons. Listen, I told you guys in the video with Colsey and Merriweather. Merriweather had him a grab today. He had 2 catches for 5 yards. I'd like to see him further up this field, though. That's where his strength is. And my man, Colsey didn't have a reception, but he was a key part in one of the catches that went for a big game. But Flores had 2 for 31. And it really, like I said, Merriweather had 2 for 5. Really, and even Greyhouse had 1 today. He had 2 for 30. So there's still ways that guys are getting the ball. We had 336 yards passing. And we had 4 receptions for touchdowns. So you had 2 passing touchdowns for Steve Angeli, and you had 2 more for Sam Hartman. Now, what I'm telling you guys is a lot of the issues that Notre Dame has had on the offense is we just cannot beat anybody throwing the football. Not to the extent that they're going to look at you and say, oh, okay, we got to stop this. Like I said, Gerard Parker, you're doing a great job. I'm happy with what you're doing. And Notre Dame Nation, you guys should be happy with what he's doing as well. Now, I understand it's Tennessee State, guys. But we're going to have a real test coming up next week when we travel to Raleigh. We got to go face North Carolina State. We got to face the Wolfpack. But I really want to talk about the defense. And Josh Burnham. This is a guy that is a sophomore. Number 40. This guy was all over the place today. And he was actually all over the place last week as well, guys. And he had 3 tackles and he had 3 total tackles and 2 solos. Now, I wanted to point him out because he's a sophomore and he played really well today. He was darn near all over the place when he was in the game. They got him listed as a second or third stringer. This guy's coming back. And I've said it, we could play with at least 4 guys in the linebacking core. It would, if we needed to, you could go to a 4-4 and a safety and 2 defensive backs. And I don't see any reason why we couldn't do what we need to do. Howard Cross had a great game today. He had 6 totals and 2 solos and a couple of pressures. J.D. Bertrand, once again, all over the backfield, had 1 really good tackle for loss. Jason Onye showed up to the party big time today. And I don't know if this guy's going to go pro, but if he keeps playing like this, I'm hoping the NFL still leaves him alone and allows him to come back 1 more year. Keep playing great, Onye. And Baptiste played great again today. He had 3 tackles and 2 solos. Excuse me. Maris Leopold. It's like they ran away from him today. You didn't hear his name much at all, but you could see him running all over the place. Jaden Alsbury was another guy who had a freshman linebacker. The linebacking core is set. Guys, our linebacking core is set. These guys are just out there making plays. Jordan Botello had a good game. He and the defensive line had a pretty darn good game, with the exception of a couple of holes that they left out there. Jack Kaiser, you can't forget about this guy. Riley Mills had a great game. Well, let me say this. He had a quiet game, but he was disruptive. Doing his disruptive thing yet again. And then, of course, there's Xavier Watts, the senior, doing his thing, coming in there and just making plays in the secondary. And of course, coming up as well, he played well. And Kim Hart and Benjamin Morrison, of course, the 2 usual defensive backs, were quiet. But, hey, all in all, we got to look out for guys that just because they're not making big plays, they're still doing it. Tyson Ford, a sophomore defensive lineman, got some playing time, and he got in and made a tackle out there as well as freshman Brennan Vernon. They got a lot of work in on those defensive linemen. Freshman Preston Zinner, a linebacker freshman, he got some playing time today, and he attained a tackle. And see, this is so huge, guys. When you can get a game in here like this and you can make plays, what it does for your psyche, it's just huge. And there's nothing more you can say about that. And a continued growth of this team is going to continue to see a constant growing process within this unit. And what Al Golden is doing, he's just out there throwing things at people, and honestly, it's going to work out for the better on down the line. Might not be this year, but I'm telling you, these moments are always what they seem later on. They're always not what they seem until later on. But guys, let me know who you enjoyed watching. Let me know who you guys enjoyed watching. Oh, I got to bring this up. Clarence Lewis, my man came up with that pick 6. A lot of y'all are going to say, okay, that's not a big deal. Oh, it's a big deal for confidence. You got a guy like Clarence Lewis that is a senior and could possibly be playing that slot at times or coming in on a 4 wide when you're talking about Ohio State or the way Clemson likes to play, or even USC. You need a guy like Clarence Lewis out there. You get an interception like that, he's coming out there with a swag. He's confident. And oh my goodness, what a pick 6. He looked like a blame running back out there. The senior smelled the end zone and he took it to the house. Oh, I got to call out Antonio Carter. He played well at safety. And he did a good job. You keep up the good work, buddy. And as I said, just very happy to see our guys out there just competing and playing well. Just keep up the good work, guys, and keep coming and keep working. But that is going to do it for us. Go to the Facebook page, guys, and go to the group Talk Like a Champion. If you're not a part of the group, you're welcome to join us. Nothing, no charge or anything. And go to the Facebook page to see about all the doings that we got going on. And I'm gonna put a poll up. Which player did you feel like was the most valuable player today, or was the most important player, or your favorite player to watch today? And we will dish out the results at a later date. But as we prepare to leave you tonight, we hope you guys will check out some more college football, and I will be coming back here with you later on in the week to let you know how we came out injury-wise. But until we meet again, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, may you keep safe in the loving, gentle arms of God.
Cheer, cheer.